25 years ago, but now we're just right along with we're not mainstream, but we are just a little front of the mainstream. Everybody knows something is wrong, they just haven't thought about what to do. Now, this is where we come in, to offer some light direction. Why would we suggest that Europe donates to Africa for a certain amount of years? 1%. Where did the 1% number come from? 1% number came from the frontline state of Tanzania. They used to donate 1% of their taxes, which was then technically nothing, for the liberation movement. They have to up taxes 1%, nobody does 1%, but they could donate 1% to Africa, which they did abuse. But now Africa is starting to get back on, getting a little feel. This would be the right time for a few $1 trillion. They could heal the gap between Africa and Europe. That means they could cooperate together. Help smooth away a little suspicion. China has a good program except for the Uyghurs. I really get sick of, I know the white man exaggerates, but what they're doing to the Muslims in China is unnecessary. Unnecessary. Biodiversity, human diversity. Who wants everybody in the world to look like them and to talk like them? That is the stupidest thing. When you get rid of a language and culture, you get rid of a whole body of knowledge. You don't just get rid of all of the, when that spoken language is gone, it's gone. All those Indian languages here in America, they're gone. There's only a few of them left, and the people have to force themselves to speak it. But it don't make no difference anyway. You want to go to the saddest place in the United States, go to an Indian reservation. It's not only heroin, crack, alcohol, everything. You're talking about, it makes our life look nice. I mean, this compared, hey man, anybody that treats somebody like that, got all their land and everything else, and just drive by and throw sacks of crystals at over the fence, and start laughing and keep going. The human being will take too much. That's why we have to do for our arena, for our area. We have to step up to the plate. We have to rise to the occasion in our arena. The value of life. The way they got life now is meaningless. They just kill it. Our policy is the same. Nonviolent resistance. It's clowning did anybody see the movie Gandhi? I saw it the other night. I just said I'd look at it again. I saw it. The movie, but making justice visible. He had some things. He had the whole British Empire. It's like probably they had 100,000 people in it. And at that time, probably 400-500 million Indians. So it wasn't non-cooperation. When they non-cooperate, hey, it's it. Ain't nothing they can do. The British can't do. You can't come and get you individually and put you nowhere to make you do anything. Non-cooperation. Work like a charm. It didn't work like a charm. It was one of the transitions of colonialism that was less violent. They had violence, of course. But it was less than like the Mau Maus. Remember all those Mau Maus, they said we were bad. They didn't say anything about them being British that was killing everybody. The Mau Maus was bad. I think the Mau Maus killed 154 British. And the British killed 10,000, 100,000 Mau Maus. So, as I was watching Gandhi, I guess that was Saturday night, I wanted to just watch something that had some message in it. Just to watch it. I've seen it 10 times, probably at least. But it showed how you get a people working together in harmony. And one thing he said is that nonviolence is always strategic. Violence is always reactionary. Violence, you react to it. So we have to provoke the British. So he was a great saintly person, but he was also that poking at the British. Yeah, all right, we kill a few 100,000 people, do this and do that. Provoking them to be bad so they can get rid of them, right? So the point I'm reaching at is that each people got some things that they can use. Malcolm had an analysis of society. He had an analysis. And he had organization too, the Nation of Islam. He could translate what he was saying, so I got rid of it. From talking, from analysis. When you listen to Malcolm's analysis of those days, that brother was on the money, M-O-N-E-Y. His analysis was right on time. And he had organization. Now King was more, he had presentation, he had oratory, which was all good quality, and he had mobilization, not organization. There's a difference between mobilizing 200,000-300,000 people, whatever was down on the mall, and organizing. That's one thing Kwame Ture used to always say. Organization, he used to say that all the time. King could mobilize people, but he couldn't organize people. And he used to say that, I think he had a little curved pipe, like Dr. Smith or somebody. He used to smoke a lot of weed. In fact, when he came to town, he had to have a little marijuana and maybe a girl for him. But anyway, Organization, not organization. So King, they had things that they used. Now, what do we have that we can use? What do we have and we have been using it? We've been using ethics very well, but now we have to evolve to the third stage of clowning. We have to now, when we speak about the system, we have to be hilarious. The Russians had an experiment years ago, 50 years. The best way to get people going your way is to get them laughing. Russians didn't do it much. They had Khrushchev and all the boys. And it's true. So Donald Trump is our target, our friend, and we're going to read the newspapers looking for comedy. We're going to listen to the radio looking for comedy. Our whole research pattern now is switch to comedy. This is what Allah gave us. We have to, there's thousands of people given a ration. You can listen to mainstream media, not mainstream media, but RT and all that. They give a reasonable, right? Iran gives a good, they give a good analysis of what they have. I believe some of the best statesmen or politicians, I believe negotiators in the world, I believe Iran is way up there. They're doing a lot of things good. But it's all too serious. See, if you, and this is from experience, if you don't respect and if you're not afraid of your enemy, it's all over. Just make him kill you. That's the way with Boss Man. I'm sorry, Boss Man. I don't care nothing about you. I just don't, you know, so we're going to kill you. Well, hurry up. You know, I mean, there's no sense of using up all your time and mine. You know, get busy. That's our trump card. That's our old card, and it's in our history. There's certain versions of the happy darky. Remember how the white man, the darkies, was always singing how happy they was. Steal away home, ain't got time to stay. And the white man, all my darkies would say, they just saying the Underground Railroad will be here tonight. Steal away home, ain't got time to stay. Yeah, it's all coded messages. Wade in the water, God's gonna flow the water. Better wade in the water. Why? Because you can't smell nothing in the water. Simple as that. Just go up in the stream and you'll be all right. Then come out. And down in Dixie, you know, the slaves found out that if you rub your feet in turpentine, the dogs can't smell. So the Negro couldn't go in the factory and get 2-3 bottles of turpentine. Remember the trees down in Louisiana and all, East Texas? Yeah, turpentine trees. The turpentine dripped down into the grass. The cows eat the grass. right? The cow's doo-doo. And the slave run and put his feet in cow dung and he gone. Turpentine, manufactured natural turpentine. See, a lot can be giving people sense and they don't, you know, they be wanting you to, we're gonna block all the turpentine factories so those niggers can't get in. Go ahead, boss, put 2-3 guards on the turpentine. Right? The ability to know your environment and to choose out of your environment what will be helpful to you is a blessing. And that's the way we feel about this. So never forget turpentine. Also, this program should be clear and repetitive. We're gonna make this almost like Saturday Night Live. We're gonna clown the people so bad. That's what we should do. That's what Allah gave us. Get everybody laughing and crying at the same time and willing to work. Sit down and tell them what the Quran say or what Allah say. It could help. But you know, the people read the Quran already. They know what it says. They read it in Arabic. They know what it says. Haridi al-Mu'minun. Revive, or, the believers. Encourage the believers. But you go to Jummah, you don't get no encouragement. It's like, okay, I'm going to speak up. We'll move toward a close. Anticipation. That means it's like As-Sabiqun. We have anticipated the world we live in. We anticipated before. During the first 10 years, say from 1980 to 1990, we might have been victims of the system. Then there came a period, the middle period, from 90, maybe 15 years, 2005. 2005 is when we started with those lectures on clearinghouse. Anybody remember those? Oakland is a clearinghouse. Then we started competing with the system. Competing because of their repetitive behavior. So what happened to us, let's say, from 2005 up to now, that was thoroughly managed. Because we have the behavior. They're going to encircle us, they're going to suppress us, they're going to overload us with tattletales. They've always done it and look like they're going to keep on doing it. Therefore, what do we do? At that time, this is where anticipation comes in, that you're able to anticipate their moves. And since we was able to anticipate their moves, predict their moves, we was able to, with long-suffering patience, because especially in the early years, it's not easy to put up with the system, especially when you are in a process of evolution yourself, evolving in ideas and evolving in reality, and evolving in implementation. You could tell where our head was at by all the articles that we studied, researched. We studied those are well-researched articles. But a lot of that research is in the language, we languagize it so it sounds like us a lot. But a lot of that language comes from reading and studying. If it's psychological warfare, then it's psychological guerrilla warfare. And we put it in a language that we feel like we have to put it in at that time. Then it comes to a time just like a musician. You always copy the people you like, you know. And when we started, we copied Malcolm and copied, Mandela and them. We just copied because they were the leaders of the movement. But after a while, we got past what it was. Just past the time to come. You know, for us to follow Malcolm and Dr. King then would be the same as Dr. King and Malcolm following Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. It would be the same thing. It would be the same thing at the time, like 50 years difference, right? The ideas, Tuskegee Institute, it's fine, but they don't solve the problem of 65, no indeed. So we had to research. No, we have studied. I'm not arrogant. We have studied everything that's been copied and written by white folks, black folks, Mexicans, even the revolution in Mexico, Francisco Villa, Llanos.